news, it's only bad news makes the presses or makes the press real. So when you hear that women have a certain opinion on things, it's not usually all women. It's usually what is the most controversial viewpoint. There's a lot of women that don't believe that. There's a lot of women that are traditional. But obviously,
Hmm.
once again, what news you actually really hear is what is populist news. That's what's going to sell papers, what's going to be, you know, the most outrageous stuff. So, don't worry about what the general masses are saying. Worry about your situation and each individual situation you deal with.
A followers still single, and I think it's because of the the yeah, it's because of the way they come across, which is fake on social media. Again, like the Instagram model look. Um, most men that I've spoke to, I don't know if you'd agree, but most men that I spoke to, for once we would like to see a natural girl on social media. And I'm sticking to Instagram because Instagram's a good example, but you'd never see a girl on Instagram without makeup on. Am I wrong? Have you ever seen a girl with no makeup on Instagram?
Yeah, or with no filter. Have you seen that?
No. See what I mean? So it's like it's rare, man. Like if I mean I'm married, so I don't need to do all that stuff. But like back in the day before I was married, I had to ask, can I see you without makeup? Because yes,
Yeah.
you have to, man, because like it's it's man, it's art. It's art at its finest, makeup.
Mm.
You could rob the bank in makeup and then rub it off. They wouldn't know it's you that robbed the bank. That's how good makeup is,
Yeah.
you know? So um I just got a message. Yeah. So yeah, it's it's some it's yeah, for me, for a lot of guys, it's important. You need to see what you look like
Mm.
without makeup. Because yeah, I mean there was a story of a guy who he got married and on his honeymoon he woke up one morning and when he turned, he got a shock of his life. He called the police and said, "There's a woman in my house." And then she said, it's me, your wife." And he got a divorce because the way that she
Man,
looked. No, I'm being serious. It's happened.
yeah.
It's happened. Yeah, like because of it, like he didn't want her anymore because 24/7, and it didn't clock to him that she looks any different because she's always got makeup on. Like it's the norm. Again, like if you go on social media, everyone's got makeup on. That's it. It's just makeup.
Mm.
It's just makeup. Guys want to see guys I know. They want to see you without makeup first. So, but I think a lot of girls don't understand that. But hey ho, because I feel like when girls do those stuff on Instagram, they take pictures and they pose like they're doing it for girls. They're not doing it for guys. Do you know what I mean? And hence the 22K followers and pure makeup on, looking like a Barbie, and you wonder why you're still single, right? Because there is no the real you is not really being portrayed. It's just a filter. So yeah, that's what the title's gonna be. 20K. Ooh, 20K followers and still single.
Mhm.
22K followers and still single. Why? If anyone's listening, why? Why is it girls who have 22 or something in the K followers, why are they still single? That's what I want to know. What's your thoughts? If there is anyone listening. No, there isn't. Not yet, but there was. But yeah, it's
Mm. I don't know, man. Like I've I've never you know, um, seen those girl with 20. I mean, I've seen girls with 20K, followers, and they're beautiful, but it just doesn't cross my mind
someone
to say,
wants to,
oh,
huh?
yeah. I mean, because it's different. It's just you usually meet people in real life. I mean, have you ever dated anyone on Instagram? Like, has ever happened? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's different.
Uh, uh, dating on Instagram, I've never, but I wouldn't. If if we're talking about what we're seeing now, like these so-called Instagram models, then no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be doing that because um oh it, how can I put it? I mean, would you do that?
No, because they're showing their. No, I'm serious. Like, they're showing their asses. They're showing their boobs, and I don't. If I'm if I'm in a relationship with a woman, with anyone,
Hmm.
not I don't want her to, you know maybe I'm old fashioned, but I don't want her to post her post picture of her ass or titties on Instagram. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, of course, yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear. I feel like now I can hear you, but usually when we speak, our lips moving, so your avatar. Um, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but yeah, mm,
Um, I want someone I want someone that is modest and carries himself with a certain amount of decency. Um, you know, so Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, 100%. It's like I don't know. It's like it's I don't like it's weird. It's like it's just for me. You know, if I'm in a relationship, I don't want her to post, you know, picture of her
That's normal,
ass.
man. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
it just
Some people have a problem with that though as well. Do you know that? Like in a relationship, some girls actually want to do that. I don't understand that. And that's why I tell people before you get in a proper committed relationship, talk about these things because some girls really like attention on social media. Again, go on Instagram. You won't find a girl, well, you have to look really hard, but you won't find a girl that's not wearing makeup and that's not posting provocative pictures or anything like that. It's very hard to find. I mean, one of my friends is on Instagram and she was DM'd by a guy, and one of the reasons for that is because she was dressing and taking pictures properly. She only had face pictures and she didn't have makeup on. And she had pictures with makeup and without makeup. So she looked like a woman. Do you know what I mean? Not like a girl. She looked like a woman. And um, how you are on social media, how you represent yourself, is what you're gonna attract. And the same goes with these Instagram models with 20K followers. If you're promoting provocative stuff, what are you gonna get? You're gonna get exactly what you're promoting. And then you wanna come and then you wanna say men are dogs, men are this. No, you're attracting the self. You're you're you are what you attract.
hmm.
If do you know what I mean? If I Let me think of an example, but you get what I mean, right? Probably I don't have to give an
Uh,
example. You know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but this kind of reminds me of Dave Chappelle joke. He said in one of his old stand up, he said, I've been in a bar and I see I see a young beautiful woman. I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember the exact word. And I said,
mm-hmm,
and Dave Chappelle, kind of, he didn't mean to say it probably, but he said, "Oh, look at those titties," and she was like, "Oh, just because I dress this way doesn't make me a whore," and Dave Chappelle was like, "Oh, that's true, but ladies, you gotta admit that is confusing because if I dress like a police officer and
mm-hmm.
I go to the street, someone might
I
come
saw
up
that.
to me and say, I you know yeah, but just because I dress this way doesn't make me a police officer. This kind of reminds me of Dave Chappelle's jokes.
Yeah, it's true. You know, um, what you what you show, and even my dad told me this when I was younger. What you show on social media, the stuff that you say, the pictures that you take, they all show and make a picture of yourself. So you have to be careful what you put up because people can use it against you in a good way or in a bad way. So it's and again, even when I don't know if this is how things are where you're from, but in the UK, when you're applying for a job and they want to maybe consider you to work for them, they actually look at your social media accounts. They actually look at your social media accounts. So if you're looking um a bit or living a lifestyle that is a bit inappropriate or not really, yeah, not appropriate, then they can say to you, actually, we don't want to consider you for this job at all. They won't tell you the reasons why, but it's just because they're looking for a type of person to work for them. But if what they see is very, if it doesn't fit their brand, then they won't accept you. And that's just how, unfortunately, life is. People look at your social media and they judge you from what they see. You may not be a police officer, but the fact you've got the uniform on it could give the impression that you are a police officer. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that you dress loose may mean that I can't take you seriously, and you're not wife material. But again, you can't judge people from judging off what they first see. Yeah. So yeah, it's important. Image is important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot, aren't I? But yeah. Very, very important. Image is very important. Any more? You have any more opinions on that?
I I'm just I don't know.
But no, to
I
what
really
you
don't know.
to what you said though, no, I wouldn't want my partner to be showing pictures like that on the internet. But what if they told you, right? What if your girlfriend or wife told you, oh, it's just pictures? Doesn't mean anything.
We're breaking out. We're getting divorced.
No, on a serious note, that's how you'd be. Yeah, you'd be like, you wouldn't even bother to explain. You'd just be like, you know what? That's it.
Yeah, because I mean, if she can't change that, well, I guess I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm sorry.
Mm, mm, I hear that. Okay. Yeah, some people really think it's not a problem.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've seen a video, and where um, a female who is a mother who dressed a bit inappropriately, I guess, and
Oh wow.
his son was like, his son was like, oh, I don't wanna. I mean, his son was like, don't. We're going to, to see my friends. Don't dress that way. And she was like, uh, she was he was like, she was like, oh, what if they, she was like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? Like, and
Wow.
he was like, nothing. She was like, exactly, that's what I thought. And I was like, why would you like say that to your son? Like as if your
She said
your
that to
son's
her
friend
son.
can. She said that, yeah, she said, what are you gonna do about it? It is what it is, and this is what I wear. And her son was, and her son was like, and she was like, oh, what are you gonna do about it? And her son was like, nothing, I guess. And she was like, oh, exactly, that's what I thought. And I was
That's a big
thinking,
concern, man.
yeah, I was thinking like, why the fuck would you say that to your son? Like you're basically saying that, to your son, oh, your friend might fuck me, and you can do shit about it. Why the fuck would you say that to your son? It doesn't. I don't know, man. I can't.
No, that's nah, nah. How old was the son?
She was teenager, 15, 16.
How? Wait, what? 15, 16.
No,
Wow, and he was clued
15 or 16. Yeah.
15. Yeah, but still, he was clued up to even say, "I don't think you should be dressing like that." Oh my gosh. See, and this is why us men are finding it hard to find a a suitable partner because we don't want to be seeing all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and there's an attitude that comes with it. I can do whatever I want. I can do, no man can tell me what to do and all this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I think though, the more of us, like us guys speak about this stuff, like it will honestly change little by little because you don't really see men talking about this sort of stuff. You know, we just, we kind of just leave it. We don't really say anything. And I think a lot of women think it's not a problem because they're taking these pictures and there's a lot of men out there who would comment on their pictures and say, I like it. But there are serious men out there who don't appreciate it because, you get what I mean, right? Like there's men out there that don't appreciate that. Um, like I don't know if you're a Christian or anything, but I remember I spoke to a taxi driver at work, and he was saying that he finds it hard to fast because he's a taxi driver, and all these the summertime brings out all types of women in his car, and I was like, wow, like that's so true. Like I want like for him, it must be difficult, man. He doesn't want to see all that, but it's a part of his job. Um, and I guess people have to um if people want people, if girls want men to take them seriously, yeah, they have to dress seriously, and you know, um, yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Like I mean, if it's if we're in a relationship, I mean, it's a problem. But if she's not my, spouse or girlfriend, it's it's not really my life. It, you know what I'm saying? Just I she can do her own thing. But if just
yeah.
if
I think we need to. I think we need to change that though, and this is the problem because when men are single and girls are single, us men, we don't mind not egging it on, but we don't mind complimenting and saying, yeah, you look nice, you look this, because we're single and they're single. And I think us men are not necessarily 100% responsible or to blame for. But let me go back to that. I think we do have a part to play in it though, because the single guys and the married guys should be saying, look, eventually you're going to meet someone, and how you set up your life now, what you do now, it will have a ripple effect on your current near future. Do you know what I mean? So I think the single men and men in general have a role to play. Like, so if we see something like that on social media, not not bash anyone, but we'll say, you know what, like think about how you're dressing and how that influences people, or what people may be thinking, because that could ruin a potential that could that could make her ruin a potential guy, a nice guy from getting to know her, and probably potentially getting married. So you know, we are kind of responsible. Um, we kind of are. Yeah. Sorry, I talk a lot.
no, it's all good. Uh,
I'm not. I apologize if I'm not that good at talking.
That's okay. That's okay. Hopefully you get what I mean, though, right? I mean, hopefully you get what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah. The media has a big impact, massive big impact. Do you agree though that probably the men should kind of have an input in changing that and kind of speak up about it?
Um, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's like if if she's my wife or girlfriend, and then before even you know like getting in a relationship, I gotta know I gotta get to know her, and if she's
No, of course, but I mean the everyday person that you may scroll across or possibly meet or a friend or probably not even a friend, just someone who you meet. Like, I feel like, well, let's stick to social media because that's what we was talking about, I guess. But like, I feel like we only care if we're in that situation of the relationship
yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
because I remember speaking to someone and this is years ago. I was speaking to someone and I said, look, the way you're dressing, like you don't have to dress that way because it gives off something that you're not. Um, Thankfully that person took it in a good way, but they then turned around and said, but I feel like that's what men want to see. And she has a right to feel that way because on her pictures, she was getting compliments from men because they were showing certain things. Now, here's the twist. If that whoever was giving her compliments then asked her, can you be my girlfriend? You know what they would say? Don't be posting anymore. Stuff like that
Mm.
on your social media. Don't be posting, and then that's why now you wonder why girls get a bit funny because hang on a second, you liked me in that position. That's how you found me, and now you want me to stop. And that's where the I think as men we don't really um set ourselves up properly for that. Um um
Yeah, before, if if she's not um you, your girlfriend, that's her business. Anything. If she's not
mm,
my girlfriend, it's her business. But if if she's gonna be my girlfriend or wife, I I wanna I have to like tell her, you know, like straight away, like um, you know, um, I it's just don't post that. Like let's
yeah, I
just
know.
say if I tell her that I'm gonna post picture of my penis, how do you think she's gonna react?
Exactly. But what I'm saying is though, right,
Mm,
is that men struggle in this situation because they get someone and they say, please don't post stuff like that. But like I said, there are other men in the background before you came on the scene, egging those sort of pictures on. Why? Because she's single and they're single. And if us men forget about being black and whatever, if men in general really wanted other men to find suitable partners, they would be telling women, why are you posting stuff like that? Why are you posting this and that? Do you know what I mean? Because then the message would be a bit more clearer for women as well. and men wouldn't find it so hard to find a suitable partner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But
Yeah,
like,
because
I mean, I mean, I don't know. You would think that if you tell your partner that I don't want you to post picture of your ass or boobs, you would think that she's
no,
going to understand it. You know what I'm saying?
no, but some don't. And that's the thing. And because it's too late, because she's probably spent 20 years of her life in and out of relationships and posting stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
you got a point.
And within those 20 years of her life, there's been loads of guys that have been complimenting her. So when you pop up on the scene and say, I do not like that, do you know what you come across as? You come across as being forceful and insecure, but you're not. The way you see it is, I'm your man and you're my woman, so we have to respect each other. Your goods are my goods, and vice versa. But women don't see
Mm.
it like that. Some don't see it like that.
Yeah, you got a point. So here's a question. If a woman is in a relationship and she posts pictures like that, is that considered cheating?
For us guys, it would be, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that because we all have different standards. I mean, I've seen some men that allow their women to do that only because they're celebrities or YouTube celebrities and stuff like that, because it gets the fans in, right?
Mhm.
But for the modern day man, yeah, that's cheating because like you said, if you was to do something, if I mean, let's say you go to the gym, right, and you're ripped, you got big muscles, right, and you're always taking pictures of your top off.
Mhm.
I'm sure she would have a problem with that, especially if girls are always on your Instagram and putting heart emojis and stuff like that.
Not even that. Like if a girl compliments me, like say, "Oh,
That would be
you
a
got,
problem.
yeah, yeah." You know what I'm saying? It just
So it's and I'm glad we're getting there now. But it's like, yeah, it's like that. So unfortunately, they don't get this because again, she spent most of her life being complimented by men, and you're one of them. So for you to tell her, babe, I don't like this, you come across as insecure. You don't know what you're talking about. You're selfish, or no, not selfish. You're jealous for whatever reason, and you just, But for you, that's seen as cheating because now you're in a relationship. Why are you gonna show your bum for? Why are you gonna show all the rest of the stuff like that? Do you know what I mean? Um, and for some women, taking pictures like that is their career on social media. And again, you have to make sure who you get in a relationship with. And before you even get in a relationship, you have to make those certain things clear in terms of boundaries and what you stand for and what you don't stand for. But again, if us men would teach the younger generation about dress style and all this stuff, us men wouldn't get so messed up and tangled up in these difficult situations that are just so simple. The man is just asking, can you please stop taking pictures like that? That's all he's asking for. That's not a
Mm.
big change in do you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna kill you. You're just asking, can you please stop? Because you don't want another man to see how you're dressing, and I think that's reasonable. But again, if us men from the beginning encourage women to stop dressing a certain way, then the next man to come across her social media account would be like, you know what? She's just like a woman. I can go in her DMs. Most men won't go in their DMs like that. And if they do, it ain't good, right? So, and they don't want anything serious. So it's we have a part to play, man. We really do. That's why the 20K followers, girls who have 20K followers are most likely single on Instagram, because the real men that want relationships are not going for that.
Hmm.
There's too much. There's too much to change already. There's too much to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and it just to your point, that saying that when we say please don't post pictures of that like that, it's just the intention is really important
The attention's
because
yeah, the attention's important, but like I said, the attention's already set because they've grown up from the age of 18, following their friends on social media and posting provocative pictures. So when a man comes along and says, I don't rock with that," there's a problem.
no, I'm saying that uh when we say please don't post pictures like that, we're not trying to
Mm.
be we're not trying to be controlling. We're not trying to
No, we're not.
control
Yeah,
her. That's not our intention.
no,
And
of course.
it, just what was it? Like, and it's pretty obvious. Like in a relationship, that we have different roles to play. There are expectations. Like, uh, you know, the obvious one is we're not allowed to cheat, and to your point, and um, if like she's not, you know, she's not comfortable with me, getting compliment because I post pictures of my abs, or biceps. You know, she shouldn't be. I mean, I'm not comfortable with her posting picture of her ass or boobs. It just
Mm.
it's a it's a it's mutual. You know what I'm saying? It's a mutual. Um,
hmm
it's mutual in a
hmm
relationship.
Of course, yeah. No, yeah, I definitely agree. Let's listen to this voice note 1 second.
Good evening to the room. Forgive my silence. I'm just listening in while I'm doing some work.
Hey, Ray's nephew. Hi, man. Welcome again, man. Yeah, we're just talking about the reasons why um girls who seem to have 20K followers and they look amazing with all the makeup on, why could it be that they are single still? And I was given my thoughts on it. I would like to say they're facts, but I can only see one side of it. Um, but yeah, to Hez, man, uh, it should be a mutual thing. It should be, but I don't know how to I don't know how us guys would get across to a woman like that in a way that doesn't seem controlling, because again, if you used to do something, they would say, I don't like the fact that you're doing that. So,
Mm.
um, and again, I kind of blame social media as well, all these music videos out there and stuff like that, um, because it kind of gives a license for girls to act up like this. And again, when a man comes across on the scene who wants to settle down, get married, and have a life, not to play games or anything like that, it's a big thing not to post pictures up of your bum and your boobs and stuff like that. And uh, do you know what I mean? Um, but again, I've said this a few times, and that's why um, guys and women, when it comes to relationships, there are some questions I kind of think and believe that you should ask even before you start committing to people, because it can save you a lot of potential mess and disasters that could happen, and it can save your time. It can save your time. So It's true, innit? Can save your time, man. Um, again, I'm talking a lot, but yeah, it's something that I've noticed, man, and I'm like, I wish it could change, you know. Like what you said about the wife, about the mum telling her child, "Don't tell me how to
Mm.
dress." The boy was 16, and how old was the mum? Was she like in her around 40s or something?
Yeah, she was pretty old. She not I mean not
Yeah, I
old,
mean
but like middle.
I mean, I'm already making a picture in my head, and it kind of sounds like the boy is watching out for the mum more than she's watching out for him.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And again, let me just paint another picture. I mean, hopefully she's not bringing men home that she doesn't really know. Do you know what I mean? And all this stuff. There's so much things to think about. But the
Mm.
fact that a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old, you said, can say something like that, he's too clued up for his age, which suggests that something else is happening as well. Because at the age of 15 and 16, I'm watching cartoons and anime. Do you know what I mean? I'm going out with my friends. I'm playing video games.
Mm.
I ain't got time to notice how my mum is dressing. So already you kind of think to yourself, hang on a second, he's too mature. Like he's not even mature, he's too clued up. So
Mm.
what has she been doing for him to and is the father on the scene? That's another. I don't know what you was watching, but was the father there or anything like that? I don't think so. But
No, no, it was just no, it was just okay. No, he was like um. Okay, so apparently she and her son was supposed to go to his son's friend's house, something like that, and maybe it
mm,
was birthday. I don't know what it was, but her dress. She dressed in a way that her dress was was so tight that you can see her boobs and ass, and she was he was like, I don't want to go with you. I don't want. I
wow.
And she was like, you know, you know, like what are you gonna do about it? And when she said that, I thought her son should have said, what am I gonna do about it? Well, I guess find a new wife for my dad because you belong to the streets, you know. But I was just, um, I was
Oh,
thinking
wow,
about it
wow,
like
wow.
it's crazy. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I just like if my mom is or or my partner or girlfriend is posting that picture or dressing that way, I'm not comfortable. Like I'm like, what is going on here? Like, are you?
Mm.
Well, what's next? OnlyFans? Just
Wow,
yeah. I don't know. I'm not
wow,
gonna say it,
yeah.
but like just
No, no, it's
that's what
true
I'm
because
thinking.
when you think when us guys think that way now, we're thinking, mate, like again, 20K followers, like is that the next thing on the list? Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
men are promoting her already before you even on the scene, and that's why it's so difficult. And I think, like I said, if us men would kind of take responsibility, us single men would take responsibility for the single women and how they appear on social media, or just send a little DM, a little nice DM here to say, look, just my advice or whatever, not no bashing or anything like that. I think, hopefully, try it out. Maybe it would make a difference. I don't know. I'd like to think it would a little bit. Um, you know.
No, apparent no, because if you say that to her, if you send her DM saying that, she's gonna say, "Oh, it's none of your business. It's my life." I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just it's not gonna work. It's probably not gonna work.
Yeah, but what do we do then? Because I'm not being funny, right? When girls have a
Mm,
problem with men, they're really quick to talk about it.
yeah,
They're really quick to put on your comment, what's it got to do with you? All of it, and again, you see on social media, girls gang up on one guy just because he said something that he he doesn't like, or his opinion on something, the girls just rush through. And when it's
Hmm.
guys, I don't see guys backing anyone up on social media about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've only just, and it's probably because I've just started watching this guy called Kevin Samuels. I now see guys on his videos and stuff, guys kind of backing other guys up and stuff like that. But I don't know if you know who Kevin Samuels is on YouTube, but watch him. He's there's some things you can take and some things you can't take, but he's quite good. Um, but I don't see guys sticking up for each other in that sense, because
Hmm.
like if we don't sort out our generation, when it comes to our kids coming along, they're not gonna find any women, not no suitable women. You know, I feel like we have to take control of our generation before it gets out of control, and I think it already is. I think I still think I still think we can save it,
Hmm.
but it's gonna take time.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, okay, so it's like the other day I was on stereo talking about, you know, okay, so in like United States, if you don't, if a man, if she's pregnant and her, wife, her boyfriend or husband says, I don't want a child, and she's like, well, I'm keeping it, and she give birth, and
Mm.
now she's pregnant. Now he has to pay for the child, and if he doesn't pay, he goes to the prison. And I was talking about it on
He goes
stereo.
prison
Yeah, that's at least that's in United States. Uh, so
in the United
I was,
States.
yeah, yeah. If you don't pay child support, you're going to go to prison.
I never knew that.
Yeah, but on your point on sticking up for each other, I was talking about it on stereo, and I got so much hate. Just she, just not hate, but like it wasn't. People are
Backlash.
like, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, he was like, oh, the person I was talking to, he was like, oh, yeah, he kind of make he is also responsible for making the baby, so he should pay for that no matter what. And I'm like, okay, what if a woman says, I'm not gonna keep a baby, I'm gonna abort it. She can abort the child. I mean, in that case, her money, her body, her choice. But
Yeah,
if
her man doesn't really have a say.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I get what you're saying, right? But what's the situation for the man not paying child support? What's the situation? Is it the fact that he doesn't have money, he can't afford it,
no, no,
or
no.
is it the fact that I'm
It's
just
not
giving an
about
example.
no, no. It's not about having the money or not. It's about it's about it's obviously women abort children, get abortion. Yeah, but like I'm talking about some specific situations where
Mm,
she's
men,
pregnant. She's
and
pregnant,
men and
and
men don't want to pay. Yeah,
no, 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 not. I mean, she's
pay
pregnant.
child support. Hmm.
No, no, she's pregnant, and he clearly says, "I don't want a child. I don't want a child," and she gives
It's
birth
just,
to that. Yeah, and he has to pay child support.
I it depends on the original agreement before that even happened. Are they in a serious relationship? Yeah. If
Mm,
they are in a serious relationship, then we can positive 99% say that he would not be saying that. Get rid of the baby or not paying child support. So we can kind of probably assume that they're just in it for the fun of it. Yeah. And
Mm.
I understand the guy does have a right to say he feels like he doesn't want to pay, because when he laid down with you, he didn't expect you to keep the baby. But at the same point, though, I don't think the woman should be. I have to be careful what I say, making a fuss of it, because they both made that agreement to lay down together and mess around, and now a child is born. How can she expect for the man to be committed when there was no commitment in the first place?
Mm.
I get that. But with men now, it's like, for men, we have a high responsibility to be responsible for what we do. Both sides are responsible. That's what I would say. Both sides
Y-
are responsible.
Um,
But they
well,
but they both but they both they both have a valid point. They
mm,
do you know what I mean? Because a woman's a woman's natural instinct is to nurture and care. That's where they come from. Yeah. And but again, it it depends on the original agreement. Do you know what I mean? It really depends on what the situation is. Because if it's just a fling, if it's just a hookup and that
mm,
happens, then I can't really. And if she does get pregnant, in my head, I can't really see her saying, "I want to keep it. Can you help pay for it?" I can't see that. So there must be some sort of miscommunication that happens somewhere. I can't. Do you know what I mean? Let's listen to
yeah,
Ray's nephew for a second.
Oh, it's a tricky one. See, anytime you engage in any kind of sexual relations with anybody,
mm,
you have to be aware of all outcomes. And with that being the
Yeah.
case, you have to know that there's a potential for a childbirth, whether it's fun or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm.
the child doesn't ask to be here on the planet, and you can never say gauge what's in somebody else's mind. So, with that, you have to take responsibility of, yeah, there's a potential. I mean, you've got, um, things to prevent births, but sometimes they fail. But at the same time, when you engage in these things, you have to take some kind of responsibility. You're a grown,
It's
consenting
true.
adult.
It's true.
well,
It's true. I agree. Yeah. There is the there is a type of responsibility, to be honest. And I guess, yeah, yeah. I think he's right, but
okay,
it's a tricky one. He's right.
okay. So I have to say a couple of things about that. Um,
Mm,
okay, so you know, society tells, not just now. I mean, um, even back even for thousands of years, society tells
mm,
men that it's their only purpose to provide for their woman, to get married and provide for their woman. And right, I mean, right now we're telling women to, oh, they don't need a man, and but at the same time we're telling men, we tell women to, oh, they don't need a man, they they are independent, they don't belong to the kitchen. But at the same time we're telling men that their only purpose is to get married and provide for their wife. And child support make sense 50 years ago, when women didn't have a job, when women couldn't have a job. But now, when when they can have a job, when they say, oh, I don't need a man in my life, so how is it that they
how is it that they say I don't need a man in my life, but when it comes to child support, they take the money. They don't need a man. They don't need his money, right? So it's even like one girl I talked to, like oh, oh, I don't need a man. I'm not gonna marry him. My dad has money. I have money. Then I asked, oh, would you marry someone who make less money than you? And she was like, no, I wouldn't.
Oh boy.
So, how do you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense.
You you mentioned a lot there, and
I'm sorry.
oh no, it's cool, it's cool. I mean, wow, all good points, man. Um, the type of woman that just wants you for your money, hopefully you can see that and pick up the signs, because that doesn't sound right to me. Um, that doesn't seem right to me. That ping just made me forget what I was what I was gonna say. But no, it doesn't. No, man, doesn't sound right. But it's, remember that it's women that tell women they don't need a man. But everything, this world shows evidence that they do. The house that they live in, 99% of the time, it was most likely built by a man. You said something about OnlyFans. Who funds who funds their bank account? Men.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, Again, what you said about child support, when they give birth, who do they look to help pay to help towards the child? The man. Again, though, when you're getting to know someone, you have to know what they're about, because it would save you a lot of
Hmm.
complications. And some women, unfortunately, are in it for the money. But I'll get back to the job thing that you was talking about a woman that doesn't want to earn, because a lot of men are worried about that as well, that they have to make a certain amount in order to find someone. But I'll get to that in a minute. Let's listen to Nephew. Hang on a second.
I appreciate what you're saying, but let's remove all the societal structures and just go to
Hmm.
base understanding. Man, woman, child. Now, ultimately, the child needs to be reared, regardless of how they got here. And to be fair, the closest thing that child has to anything to keep them surviving in this world is the two people that brought them to the planet. So I understand that there's a lot of things in society that actually are wrong or misplaced. Society was here before us, but also ultimately, if you're looking at it from the most simplistic elements, that child needs support. And it, once again, it didn't ask to be here.
Well, I have to. Okay, so I have to disagree. Yeah. Okay,
You have to
so
agree with that,
the
right?
I know, but the way. Okay, I agree with that, but it's just you can't separate society. Okay, if women are saying that, oh, we don't need men, which is fine, they can say that. If women are saying that, if women are saying, um, we don't need men, we don't need their money, okay, let's get rid of child support. Just let's get rid of that because it's just they don't need that money. So how come you say I don't need a man, I don't need his money, but you take the child support money? So child support should you know be out of window if you say
I personally think
mm,
there there's a reason why it's there. Some abuse it, and some generally need that. Yeah, you may actually come across someone who's very genuine that you actually fall in love with, and and all of a sudden, by mistake, a baby's born. Yeah, and as a man, even though you didn't expect it, you have to step up to the plate and be like, you know what? Even though society says men are this, or this is what women want, break the cycle and kind of
mm,
step up, even though you don't have to. And I'm sure she will appreciate it in the long run. But like what our brother's saying, though, we need to take responsibility for our actions, regardless if it's serious or if we're messing around. Because, and again, though, the reason why women, again, men being responsible and kind of taking charge on certain things, break the cycle, be responsible, show that you're not like those men that they are talking about. Now, when it comes to this guy called Kevin, what you said about earning a certain amount of money, and women don't want that. There's a guy called Kevin Samuels again who I mentioned. Listen to what he says, because he says that women want high value men, and the only thing that they class as high value is how much income they're making.
Yeah.
But they're nowhere close as making, and most of them are not even close to making what they want their man to make. And they want their man to pay for this, for that. They want them to pay for more than 50% of the bills. And on top of that, they want to stay home and be a housewife. And they want the man to work. Yeah. But that is not a high value man. We've got another message coming in again. But yeah, I'll listen to that in a minute. If you come across a woman like that, yeah, you know for sure that's not it. Because a marriage is a marriage is meant to be unified, and a marriage is meant to be one. You're meant to work together. There isn't, I'm just going to rely on my husband, I'm going to sit down. And the husband shouldn't be, sure, let us spend time in the kitchen. There needs to be, you both need to work together. Just because people say it's a man's, just because men say, and this does come out sadly from a lot of men, women need to be in the kitchen, it doesn't mean you can't go in the kitchen and help her out. Yeah. And another reason why women don't want to be in relationships is because it comes with this notion that my life is going to be gone because I have to be a woman that stays in the kitchen. Ken sent a voice note. Let's listen to that.
The expectation of responsibility, in my opinion, doesn't work unless it's equally accountable between all parties involved. It can't be an expectation that, one person or the other, no matter what that dynamic may be, will take more responsibility or, levy a certain degree of understanding on the opposite end of the other person simply because, we see that they lack in that area, which is not to say that we can't pick up slack in spaces, but we have to be cognizant and active in the decisions that we make. And even when it seems like we're not, we are. Nothing happens that we don't particularly allow except for some very extreme circumstances. And as long as it's, within those lines of being within a decision, then it should be viewed and accepted as such because it was a choice. And as long as someone made a choice, then they are responsible for the outcomes that come with it.
You get that, Hez?
Yeah. Well, okay, so I don't know. It's like, I mean, when it comes to abortion, it's tricky. It's a lot of,
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If you was messing around, sleeping around, whatever you want to call it, and you personally didn't want a child, and you made sure you had things in place like protection and stuff like that, and she was pregnant, would you honestly want her to get rid of the child?
No, I don't want her to get rid of child. She can give
Okay.
birth to the child, but I'm out. I am out. She can raise it on her own.
Why?
Because when a woman doesn't want a child, she gets rid of it. She gets rid of it, and man doesn't have a say to it. Man doesn't have a say to it. And if I don't want a child, she can raise it on her own. I'm not gonna force her to get abortion, but I'm out.
So do you not see it
Hmm.
as it's my blood?
Because
No,
no,
I say why, right? Because and this is where the sad part comes into it. Because not you, so don't worry, but men, there's a lot of men in that position. They'll say, you know what, I'm out, forget it, right? But then she grows up in life with that child, and she kind of almost comes to her senses, and she's like, you know what, I want to settle down because I've got a child I want to look after. And then a lot of men now will come across that woman and say, nah, she's got a child. I ain't looking after that. I ain't looking after that because that ain't my child. And then all of a sudden now that child grows up without a father. If you look at I like animals, right? I love looking at documentaries of animals and stuff. If you look at the nature of a lion, if another pack wants to join and there's a cub, there's two things the lion would do is attack it or kill it because it's not his. And I think and I think like what our two brothers were saying, there needs to be responsibility taken, honestly.
Hmm.
Honestly, something. Because you remember you both didn't sign up to it, and the fact that the woman wants to go through the I guarantee she's going to be nervous and have some sort of worries too. But the fact that she wants to keep it is strength alone. Yeah.
but
And
like
and mm,
no, I mean, but like taking responsibility should be, mutual. Just
no, but
if
remember what I said though. It was mutual because, like I said, remember I said you both before you laid down did whatever you both made sure protection was in place. Sometimes though protection is not 100% guaranteed. You can still get pregnant. Yeah.
well,
So remember you both I'm going to be honest, right?
mm.
Before you have sex with someone, right? You don't say, by the way, what we're going to do if a baby's born. You don't have that thought because in that moment in time, you're thinking
Yeah,
about. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So let's be honest. The men don't say nothing like that. Neither do the women, right? But
Mm.
whatever I believe what the women want to do after that, and if she says to you, "Can you or do you mind helping because I've got a child?" I understand it may be hard for some men to say, I will take the responsibility and look after that. But there was no embarrassment or no guilt when you was lying down with her.
Okay. So let me put it this way. So if a man gets her pregnant and she doesn't want a baby, and he doesn't want a baby, so it's her responsibility also to take care of the baby. Okay, let me put it this way. If she gets pregnant accidentally and she doesn't want a child, she aborts the child, is she taking responsibility? No, no, she aborts the child.
That that's honestly something that us men we cannot force at all. If
I'm I'm not saying we
uh,
should force him. I'm
no,
just saying that when she doesn't want a baby, she can abort it. But if we don't want child, I'm not saying we should force him to get an abortion, but I'm just saying, if she can kill the child, at least I can abandon the child. I don't have to pay. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't pay.
I understand what you're saying, right?
Mm.
But it's another life. It's your own flesh and blood. Yeah, she's made it. Once that baby's in her stomach, it's regardless of if a man wants it or doesn't want it, it's really and truly up to her. It really is. Yeah. But when that, I do understand what you're saying, though. I do
Mm.
understand. But us men, though, I do think, yeah, when we have something that's of our own body, though, that she was wanted to bring out, and then she kind of says to you in a way she wants you to help. If you say no, fair enough. Okay, cool. I can't. She can't force you. I can't force you. But I do believe that there's some responsibility that should be taken. Because if you're not going to want your son, who is? I mean, someone would, but it's very slim. And what most sons do, they grow up and they want to find their father again. Sometimes that happens. Right, let's listen to these. I'll click on priority because some messages came in first. So, yeah, let's listen to the first one.
Right, the thing is, as a grown adult, you're aware of all the dynamics that were involved in having sex. Now, entering into that, you should understand that there is a potential that you might get the woman pregnant and she may decide to abort the baby. You know you have no control over that. She may get pregnant and want to have the baby. You have no control over that. The only thing you have control over is if you're going to have sex with this woman and the results that may come from it. And if you're not ready to accept the results from it, then maybe you're not ready to sleep with this woman. And Hez, please take my comments as not an attack on you. It's just an outlook from my perspective.
Now, again, I understand what the outcome could have been. And obviously, these are two consenting adults. But I feel like I understand, his perspective in the midst of the situation, to the point where we understand in the event that a woman decides that she doesn't want a child, there are no real repercussions for, that decision. And despite the feelings of the gentleman involved, she gets to make that decision without him. I simply think he's alluding to the fact that if it's going to be as such, then that same right should be levied for the men in those positions, which I personally don't disagree with. I think an issue that we have is that responsibility is very selective in these situations, and very rarely does it favor the cognizant individual as much.
Thanks, guys, for what you said, and again, what nephew was saying, that there is a responsibility, but then what our other brother was saying is he doesn't disagree with what you're saying, neither do I, but we can be selective in what we want, because just because the other person does it, does it mean we do the same thing? Or do we step up and say, you know what, again, break the cycle and be like, you know what, I want to be there for my son. It's not about you, it's about the son. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But I mean, if you used to turn around to me today and say, Nathan, I don't know, I ain't taking care of it, I'd be like, okay, cool. You sure? You sure? He would say, yeah, fine. If you used to say, I'm going to stay there and look after it, I'd be like, great, man, because most men don't want to do that. And I guess because we don't want the girl that we slept with either, we don't really like her like that. Now babies come out. That's embarrassing. Depending from what culture you come from as well, you're going to have to explain why you've got a child. So there's lots of, but again, if you made the decision to sleep down with her in the first place, you have to be responsible or accept what could happen, the possible outcomes. Yeah, we've got another voice note.
The person who is who stands to gain the most advantage. And unfortunately, in a lot of situations, it's women, which is not to say that they're, all inherently bad, but it is to say that as far as policy and kind of societal norms go, the influence, the push, you know, the backing, it's not for the men. It's not for their decision. It's not for their active role as parents.
Mm.
And I feel knowing that people play that part, and we should be in a place where if we're moving towards being equal in things, then we should be equal in things. Everyone should be able to make an equal level of decision, because everyone ultimately gets to choose. It's not fair for one party to have a choice taken away while the other gets to make a decision.
I agree. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want, right? But the way that this world is anyway, it's very selfish.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, when will we take responsibility and help each other?
Mm.
You know, try and make life a bit better for everybody. No one asks for a child, but at the same time,
And
you're most likely gonna have a better time than that child probably, because he's gonna grow up without a father, a mum who's probably gonna sleep around with other people and end up having a stepdad. That's not. I mean, some people are fine with stepdads and whatnot, but they always wonder, why did my dad leave? And then they grow up thinking that men are this or that, or it really depends. But your actions can cause repercussions. It really can, you know. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
let's say now you let it down the line, when let's say you have got a son and you don't want anymore, then you go and meet another woman that you're really serious about. Yeah. Have you got any kids? Yeah, I have, but I didn't want to take responsibility of him. That's not what I signed up for. You think
Mm.
she's gonna take you seriously? So what if do you know what I mean? So if you can disregard your own flesh and blood in that situation, but I understand what you mean, because women make that
Mm.
decision to abort. I understand what you're saying. But should us men really put ourselves and make the decisions that women often make for abortions? But we need to, and and just in case someone's listening to this, they might think, yeah, but some women are raped. I'm not talking about being raped or anything like that. That's something different. I'm talking about you're messing around, you're sleeping together, and unexpectedly a baby comes out. You can do whatever you want, but I guarantee, if, it's gonna come back to bite you in some way. You know,
Okay,
it's just
well,
my opinion. Just my opinion, I guess. But I see these
y-
things
no, no,
sometimes happen as well and play out. Yeah. So.
oh, no, 100%. I just we're having this discussion. Um,
Mm.
I mean, if you agree to everything I say and I agree
No, I
to
agree.
everything you
Yeah, yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
that's
I
no, no,
I
no,
agree. Yeah.
no, no. I'm just saying that uh, disagreement is a good thing, because if I agree with everything you say and you agree with everything I say, that's boring. That's really boring. So I think that this is really good. That No, I'm serious. No, so don't apologize.
Okay.
It's a good thing. It's
No.
um I'm just saying
Yeah.
that in just I've been relationships. I'm sure.
Mm.
Well, I've been in relationships where I'm the only one that apologize. She doesn't apologize. I'm the only one that
Mm.
has to have to learn from my mistakes. I have to apologize her. She never
Oh boy.
apologizes, and when that's a shitty contract. Why the fuck would I sign that? I understand. I mean, you said taking
Mm. Mm.
responsibility, but like
Mm.
when she's not taking responsibility, why the fuck when she's not responsible taking responsibility for her actions, when she doesn't want to learn from her mistakes, when she doesn't apologize, why the fuck should I apologize? Why the fuck should I take responsibility? And in like
Relations,
abortion,
yeah.
in
Re-
abortion, in abortion, when as this gentleman well said, when it's just when society, create this environment where it's just women,
mm,
you know, uh, why the fuck would men take responsibility? I mean, it should, you know, if she doesn't want a child, she can abort it.
yeah.
A
I'm
man has
gonna,
nothing to say to that. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I'm gonna focus on the part where you said saying sorry, and
Hmm.
it's the thing that comes to my mind is it's happened before, with me and my wife, where sometimes she's not as quick to say sorry, but find out why. Because for my wife, sometimes it can be that she's just stubborn. Yeah. But I found out that I was talking about that. She's working on it. For us men, though, and guys, not just me, sorry is something big. We want to hear you at least acknowledge what you're doing, because as men, sometimes we manage a lot in the relationship. Yeah. But also relationships, we want them to be 50-50, but they're not always 50-50. They're really not. And it is kind of a myth that people say relationship is meant to be 50-50. It is, and even I say that it's meant to be 50-50, but it's not going to be all the time, because a relationship or a marriage is a partnership.
Hmm.
It's a partnership. Now, if she's being disrespectful to you, that's a different story, because no one should put up with people being deliberately disrespectful. No one should put up with that. But I believe that if you're in it together, then learn together, grow together, teach each other, and stuff like that. Um, got another message. Let's listen to this.
I think a lot of this is born from societal problems as far as responsibility. A lot of responsibility, unfortunately, stops at each individual's doorstep. Whereas, as you grow and as you have generations underneath you, you start learning that your responsibility may not be as limited as you perceived it to be. So, yeah, it's just a thought. When your responsibility becomes wider, you think about the big picture, and like you were saying, that child needs some rearing, it needs some guidance, and it would probably be best that the source of that child is the one who provides it, rather than somebody who doesn't really care too much about the child, whether it being a man, the next man that woman sleeps with, etc.
Yeah, yeah. What we do for sure can cause ripple effects. I'm just thinking, if I was to do that, um, that child can grow up obviously without a father, and then he can think as well, you know what? Because I don't have a dad. He's not saying this because he doesn't have a dad to teach him certain things. He's just going to go around and just have sex with everybody, and then the cycle continues.
Hmm.
And there's not a man to teach him how he should conduct himself as a man. You know, it's not easy. I think you've got women who on social media that don't help. You know, I understand. I understand, but it is a lot of the men. You're right. I feel where you're coming from. A lot of the men, and people say women women learn faster or grow up faster than men, but the way I'm seeing it, it seems like the men are more clued up at the moment. But we don't want to put up with their rubbish because, you know, but at the same time, I'm getting a headache just thinking about this. But at the same time, oh, I literally am. I'm getting a headache. Oh my gosh, I have to be
I'm
somewhere
sorry,
tomorrow.
man. I'm sorry if I brought
No,
that
no,
up.
no. It's a good question, but it's not you. That's the problem. It's the it's the day that we're living in. And again, we go back to the Instagram stuff.
Mm.
If we see a woman that is not dressing like a woman and she just looks like someone you can just spend the night with, most guys are going to do that because she's dressing irresponsible, and therefore she seems a person that you wouldn't you don't rate her, you don't see her as, do you know what I mean? So when a baby comes along now, you're like, no, I'm not taking care of that, because what you represent is, you don't, do you know what I mean? I definitely understand it, but there comes to a point where I think as men we need to start saying something, and about what women do too, because it's men are not the problem, women are not the problem, but at the same time we all are as a collective. Because I think most of this stuff we could help each other from stopping. You know, um, again, if you're not in the child's life,
Mm.
for example, and he grows up, he may not learn how to respect a woman. From what you said to me, you do. But let's say you are in this situation where you don't want the child. The child
Mm.
might think, well, my dad didn't respect my mom. He's not on. He's not thinking that on the forefront of his mind, but in the back, he's thinking, never grew up with dad. With a dad, for whatever reason, he left my mum. I mean, he left and left me, whatever. And he may grow up to not respect women in the sense of he's just sleeping, or he's just going to sleep around, do what he wants. And then now we're giving ammunition to more black women to say black men are this or men ain't this. We don't need a man.
Well,
Do you get what I mean? And at the same, we don't like women saying that, but at the same time, some men we don't help, but I understand why. Oh boy, I really
okay,
understand
so
why.
okay. Let me ask you
Mm,
this question. If
go ahead.
if she's pregnant and he clearly says, I don't want a child, and she's like, I don't give a fuck, I'm giving birth to this child, and she give birth. So she clearly made that decision. She
She
made
made the
that
decision,
decision.
but
Yeah, she
does
made that
she still want
decision.
to? Does she still want you to be in that decision though? Or like, I know you give an
Yeah.
example, but in that situation, does she still want the guy to be involved, or does she just care about herself?
Okay, so if she really cared about the guys, she would have aborted the child.
No,
If she
no,
really.
because remember,
Mm.
it was a one night stand. She doesn't care about you. You didn't care about her. If she now wants to make the decision to keep the child,
Mm.
yeah, because
That's
remember,
on her.
women, it's on her.
Yeah, she made that decision.
She
I mean, what?
No, yeah, she made the decision. I don't believe though she should tell you to look after the child. Can you be there? Because that
Mm.
wasn't the agreement when you slept together. Yeah. But
Mm.
remember though, as a man though, and this is where, like what our brother said, we do pick and choose what our responsibilities. And as men, probably we need to go back and learn what it means to be responsible as a man. I don't know.
Well, women do that
Maybe
too. Women pick and choose their responsibility too.
women do that too. I agree,
Mm.
right? I agree. I really do agree. But I believe I believe as men, we can step up and say, I'll look after that child, but I ain't looking after you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm living my own life and I'll give money to the child and whatnot, but you physically don't have to be there, you know? Or once a month, I'll give you do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, though, remember, I know it's different,
Mm.
but for me personally, I'd be like, that's my blood, you know? Like, that's my child. Like, at the end of the day, you can't judge her for that, for looking after the child, even though you don't want it, because you slept together. And when you do that, you have to be responsible and be ready for any sort of circumstance. That's why I said we can't really be upset, because when we first lie down with people, you don't, before you lay down in the bed, you don't say, by the way, let's write down or let's plan just in case,
Yeah,
just in case
yeah,
something happens. We don't have time for that.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true, we don't. We don't. The man's thinking, yeah, I'm ready to go. The woman's thinking, woo, you know, like there is no conversation like that. And
Mm.
that's why I'm saying when everything's done, we want to then get entitled. And I think regardless of how much it may be painful or uncomfortable, you have to give your opinion on what you want, right? Give your opinion on what
Mm.
you want or what you don't want. But I think regardless of what that woman is, or in terms of how she acts or her character, she has to make that choice. And you have to make a choice of, you know what, am I going to be a person that steps up, or am I not going to provide for it? And then you may be in the position, though, that you may not be able to provide. That's something totally different. If you physically
Mm.
can't, yeah, then that's cool. But
I hear you.
there's yeah, do you know what I mean? Like if you don't have a job and whatever, you both don't have a job, then you physically can't provide
Mm.
financially, but do you still want to be present? And even though, I, oh gosh, it is a difficult one. We've got two
Mm.
voice notes. Hang on a second.
Ultimately, well, it comes down to value systems. Now, if me personally, had any engagement with any female that was like having decided to have a child that I didn't want to have, I'm gonna bite the bullet. The reality is, because my value system is in place, whereas I believe
Yeah,
that any child that comes from me, regardless of how I feel about the woman, needs to have some guidance from me. So, I mean, I can't judge somebody for having a different opinion from that, but that's where I'm at. And, if you choose not to, then that's on you. But, it also does show where your values lie. Forget
yeah,
society. Society means nothing.
Um,
Society starts in your house. Yeah, it really doesn't need to be a tit for tat thing because another person decides that their responsibilities lie here. Doesn't mean that it's right. And ultimately, like I said before, you have to know where your values lie up and forget the other person's values because somebody else's values don't make your values, and then make your decision based off of your values.
um,
mm. This is deep. This is deep. Oh
yeah.
boy, I'm learning, man. I really am learning, but it's wow.
Damn.
This is a. You want to say anything?
Well, okay, okay. It's like if we lived in a world where where you know um okay, so I'm you said you're going to take care of the baby. um you
Mm,
know I would want to do that.
mm,
I want to do that, but
mhm,
if because we live in a world where you know women kind of basically it's favor women.
I
It's
get you.
in a unfair way, and I'm like,
Mhm,
why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck would I take responsibility when
when she doesn't, when you can't really separate the society, you can't really separate the court system, you can't, when everything is constructed in a way that's against me, I'm like, fuck the children, man, fuck that, I'm out of here. But if it was equal, then if it was,
Uh,
it was equal,
So
it was
if so,
equal
what so
responsibility. Yeah, yeah.
what would be equal in your eyes?
Okay. So 4 situations. Two of them is that when when a man and woman wants to keep the baby, they keep it. When they don't want to keep the baby, they abort it. Fair enough. But if uh, if a man wants to keep the baby, and if a man wants to keep if woman doesn't want to keep the baby, and she give birth to that, and man doesn't have to pay for that, doesn't have to be in that child. And another situation is when he wants to keep the baby and she doesn't. So then she give birth to the baby, she gives the baby to the father, and she's like, I'm out of here. You can raise. I'm not paying for that child. I'm not raising that child. You can raise it on your own.
R-
That to
r-
me is
r-
equal.
yeah, it sounds equal. Yeah. I mean, I think we need. I think the world that we live in, again, they're not considerate of other people. Yeah. Um. Obviously, I know what you're saying. You wouldn't do that, but
Mm,
if a woman decides to keep it, then she needs to be ready for what the man will and will not say, and accept it. Yeah, and accept it.
mm,
But it would be nice if we all had some sort of responsibility. On the flip side, a man, I feel, should not uh try and force her to give up the baby. And there's a reason why I say that, because when a woman has an abortion, if she has too many abortions, guess what happens? The risk of her having babies in the future are very low as well.
mm,
So some women might want to give birth because, do you know what I mean? There's so many things that could happen, and there's so many things that she might be thinking about. But at the same time, though, the question is for this chat today really is: will we uh, be responsible regardless of each other's choices? And that's the key. And like our brother said, forget about society, because sometimes you really do have to forget about that. But we've got our press priority. We'll listen to this one first.
Todo empieza en la casa y es un proceso, tiene que haber comunicación por dos lados, nomás no es por un lado, es un balance.
I didn't understand that, bro. Thousands of BS, and the girls are easy a sound process, so they still didn't give it to me because you're in for some logos on my signal in. Okay, all right. That was funny though.
It's a funny thing about news. It's only bad news makes the presses or makes the press real. So when you hear that women have a certain opinion on things, it's not usually all women. It's usually what is the most controversial viewpoint. There's a lot of women that don't believe that. There's a lot of women that are traditional. But obviously, once again, what news you actually really hear is what is populist news. That's what's going to sell papers, what's going to be, the most outrageous stuff. So, don't worry about what the general masses are saying. Worry about your situation and each individual situation you deal with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And bro, you sound like you have a good um you have good sense in what you want in a woman. So I don't think you'd get yourself in that position where you'd have to worry about that. Do you know what I mean? Um, but, man, this was a good talk, man.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, first you can't really separate, you know, society, court system from relationship. It just doesn't. You can't separate that. It just and
No, I think he's talking about when it comes to your individual choice. Obviously, if someone brings you
yeah,
to court and stuff like that, or they want to, obviously you
even
can't control that. But
yeah.
you can control.
So
You can control. I believe. Go on.
no, I'm just saying that individual choice. It is affected by court. If it wasn't affected by the court, then I'm like, yeah, it's different. But if you know, just you know, if it's written, if you know the laws, the justice system, you know, it's in a way that you know women basically can get away with it. And there's it favors women more. You can't really separate society, you know, court, justice system from
I
family.
understand.
You know,
I
it's
I
just yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, and when it comes to that, I don't know if you're fearful of that, but um, I gotta do. Keep saying it. I said this yesterday and the day before. No, last week. But there needs to be a kind of you, you kind of have to, again, if you ask the right questions when you're getting to know someone, and this isn't even dating to be in fact, this is just a hookup. Again, we need to go about how we live our life, man, for real. Yeah, because if
Mm,
if if you're just hooking up with someone, I'm not in a bad way. You don't really have a right to say much. The only thing you have to do, if you want to, and if you're man enough, is to take responsibility. I know you said you would. Now, if this was in a relationship setting and you're serious, there would be no courts or anything involved because you're in a relationship, you love that person, you care about that person. And again, that's why I had a conversation with someone on Twitter, and I told the guy that you shouldn't be encouraging these girls to sleep around because it's messy. And he said to me,
yeah.
bro, I'm living my single life, man. I'm thinking, hang on, because exactly what you're saying, bro, yeah? What if he's not responsible what if he's not responsible for the outcomes?
Mm, I agree. I
And
agree.
and,
Like,
and, and, and then she starts shouting and saying, you're nothing to and then he says, you typical black whatever. And then all that stuff come out again. And more drama starts off. If we and this is why and this is why I believe the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn. Because
mm,
there's a lot of things there's a lot of things that you can save yourself from. Sleeping around is messy, and then when stuff happens, we're not. Some people, women and males, we're not ready for the responsibility of that outcome. What's our bro saying?
All right, here's a big news story. All men are dogs. Yeah, right. Does that mean all men are dogs, or is it the populist opinion that is the most
mm.
controversial things to stir up a problem?
It's the most popular thing that people are saying. It's the most popular thing that that girls are saying. Yeah, and
I I understand
go,
that. I'm just I understand. You know, you know uh, when women get pregnant, you know they don't actually want to keep the child. They, most of the time they abort the child, and I understand that. But I was talking about specific situation where it happens. Just and the reason I said that is because you said that couple you said that a while ago we
Mhm.
men should stand up for each other, stick up for each other too. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's why, yeah, that's why I brought it up. Even though
sure.
it's a few, it's very specific. It happens. It's rare. It's really it's not. It doesn't happen a lot. But if it happens, it is still a problem. You know what I'm saying? It just if
Mhm.
let's just say we live in a world where only just every year one just every 10 years, every 100 years, one girl gets raped. It's still a problem, even if it happens to one girl. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Obviously, it
Yeah.
happens more, but like,
No, yeah, it's
even
a
if it
problem.
happens
That's what
to
we're
one
talking.
girl, it's a
Yeah, I mean,
problem.
yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, man. Um, mm, hmm, hmm, hmm. We shouldn't put ourselves in in those situations in the first place. That's what I told that's what I said to that guy on Twitter. That's why I said it to him. I said, bro,
Mm.
like
Yeah,
it's mess. I told him it's messy and yeah, again responsibility. Yeah, but
100%. Like, oh, oh, sorry, you were
no,
saying.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, 100%. Maybe
Mm.
I'm old school, but like, I like to, I like to get to know her, and for like
You're not,
at
yeah,
least couple of months,
you
just
you're not old school, man.
and
Like that's the good way to do stuff. Get to know people properly before you start doing other things, man. Because you need to know if you're on the same page. That's good. I did the same, but not a lot of
definitely
people.
because
Mm,
no, I'm just saying that that's I get to I like to get to know her, and I if I like
hmm
her and she likes me, then we're in a relationship. And I see a lot of like teenagers like hooking up, having one night stand, and they don't even know each other. Just and that is wild to me. That is like crazy. Like,
hmm
um, just the only reason I say I feel like I'm old school is because I feel like so many people are doing it that I feel like a weirdo. I feel like I come from another planet. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, bro. Because I never personally did that growing up. My parents were old school. So if my parents were old school, I mean, I'm 27. If my parents were old school, my granddad and grandma were way old school. So, like I've never, I've had the opportunities before when I was younger, before I was
Mhm.
married and all that stuff. Never took it. Um, why? Why? Because it's messy. And I was the type of person when I was younger. I didn't talk much. I just watched people. Just watch people and see how they act. You will learn a lot. How they talk, their body posture, everything. I just watched people. But again, though, because we know better, we need to be on these sort of platforms and talking and stuff like that because you know it is a problem, and it may always be a problem. But I'm sure it will help someone later down the line. Anyway, I'm definitely sure about that. Um, Ray's nephew. Let's listen to him quick.
Oh man, you guys make me laugh. Hez, trust me, I'm not. Please believe, I'm. Everything I say is with ultimate respect, and I don't want to make it seem that I'm actually trying to badger you or anything like that. But it's well, not even but. It's a thing we have to actually understand. When did being reckless become normal? Because
Mm.
that's one of the main reasons why we're even having this conversation. I believe people are a bit too reckless right now, and then they're not really caring about the responsibility behind their actions. And I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Is there potentially a way for us to lighten the mood here? Just wondering. Let's lighten the mood, because I feel like you might feel I'm attacking. I'm trying not to. Don't mean to attack you in any way, means, or form.
No, the mood. I feel like the mood's fine. It's just I find this very interesting. That's all, because I find it interesting. I find it interesting. It's if Mimi was here, she would have lightened the place up like yesterday. But no, I've even there's even a conversation I was actually going to ask you. No, there was a question I was going to ask you today. Actually, we first started talking is why isn't that why? I haven't prepared for this. I don't know the answer, but why is it that men find it hard to talk to each other?
Mm.
Because when I started talking to you today,
Mhm.
I was like, what on earth do I say? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is about men, but it's just hard to start off a conversation. I don't know what it is. Why is it that I'm just putting it out there? And this would be that I try and, calm everything down. Um, what do you
Yeah,
think it is? Because
I
I've
don't know,
noticed that.
man. Definitely, definitely. And to your point, I mean, I forgot to mention to J Rap's nephew point. I don't take. I mean, it's just there. There's a difference, between, you know, how can I say it? But uh, just the tone, the energy. It just your tone and your energy. What you said is has how can I say it? We're having a civil, maybe civil discussion.
It's
You
had a good
know?
impact. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
And it's
Okay,
not.
yeah.
I didn't get this impression that you're attacking me. It was. We're having a like an honest
Construct.
civil
Yeah, honest,
discussion.
constructive. Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely. And by the way, I don't know. Just maybe, and women are you know women are talkative compared to men. That's true. Like men can sit there in like one place fishing for like 12 hours without saying a single word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I, I find it interesting. Like, me and my brother, like we have a different way of bonding. We just play video games. But to sit there and have a talk about something, it just doesn't
Shoot
come
me.
out naturally. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't come
Yeah.
out. It's probably like a few lines, and it's like that's it. Um, Strange, man. It really is strange. I hope I'm not like that with my sons when I have kids, because it's like, but maybe it's gonna be a different feel, a different thing to that. But I love children, so I don't think I'd be that way. But for men in general, when I talk to men, it's like the first time you start talking, it's very like
Mm.
rocky in the sense of, okay, what do we talk about? You know, uh, it's very 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 strange. Um, but again, I think because we've become more familiar with each other, then it kind of starts to be a bit more natural. Um, Ray's nephew, let's see what you say.
I think women speak to women and women speak to men naturally, casually. I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or what, but men tend to only have conversations with other men if we've got something in common, whether it's sports or
Mm.
politics or whatever. But I don't know if it's primordial or what, but obviously every man's perceived worst opponent would potentially be another man. Now, it's not always the case in natural fact, but I think most men are defensive against other men. Maybe that may be a source of where the issue comes with conversation happening naturally.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're bringing something back to me actually.
In a group setting, men speaking to men is usually fine. It's just the one-on-one thing, it becomes a bit, oh, hello.
Mhm.
Oh, hello. Oh, that's jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I remember walking down somewhere with my wife, and then we walked in somewhere, and the guy started talking to both of us, and automatically, my I reserved myself because I was watching the situation. I don't know what it is, but when men that you don't know talk to you and your partner at the same time, we kind of like we're quiet because we're observing. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then when it's someone that you know, you're more exuberant, you're more talkative. So I guess it is a defense mechanism. To be fair, to be fair, you put the laugh emoji. Uh, it's true. I'm guilty of that. It's a defense thing.
Mhm.
Like you're walking down the street and you see another man look at you. You don't smile or anything. You just look. What
Yeah.
I try to build. I don't do it anymore. I think I need to. But when I was much more younger and I used to walk past, especially a black person, to make sure that the vibes were natural and there was nothing serious going on, because I just used to look at them and nod. Like black people, and you're right. You just nod, and if they nod at you, and you're like, oh, it's cool, it's cool. It's kind of like me growing up. It was like that respect thing, and also just kind of like a bit of caution. I guess I was a bit, yeah. Mm.
Hmm. I don't know actually. Um. Well.
Because it's probably different for you because you're in a different part of
Mm,
the world from where I am, but um, so maybe you don't have that challenge, but us black men, it's challenges there. Um, if I see another black man, I kind of have to think in my mind, don't stare at him too much, or do you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
mm.
um,
I see.
yeah.
Okay. I see. I don't know. Now you just said that. That kind of reminds me of my experience. Um, when I used to go to my grandma's house a lot, and they kind of, it was cool. They were all cool. But then as I was growing up, I realized that um they are, they wanna tell me they want to tell me basically how I should live my life, and and not just in a like not just in a more, uh, in a if it's just a suggestion, I mean, that's fine. But if they want to make decision, on my behalf, and it was this thing that, oh, I'm older than you, you are a child, and you have nothing to say, you don't have right. And if you say anything that's disrespectful, then I started to kind of distance myself from them, uh, because um I wanna be like, how should I put it? It's like, um like I just
You want to grow yourself, kind of thing. You want to just
no, it's just if okay, so sorry, I forgot the part I was going to say is because I had so much negative interaction with people, with society, with my family member, my um
oh, so
my
that's
grandpa.
okay. So that's
Yeah.
your reason, is it? Okay,
So
fair
yeah,
enough.
that's why I try to stay away from them, just keep my distance from them. And
Mhm.
the reason I like stereo is because most people here are very cool and chill. They don't judge you. They don't. Um, it's pretty cool. It's a cool environment. It's everyone's cool. Just that's why
Mm.
I love this app. You know what I'm saying? I love, but because because I had so much negative
Thoughts?
negative interaction.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I'm sorry if that's a longest explanation, but yeah.
that's cool. I definitely get what you mean. Definitely. Um, listen to Ray's nephew.
You sound like you were defending the castle there. Obviously, he's approached you and your partner, and you're not really sure about what his real intentions are. Now, probably just running through the back of your head, maybe not in the front of your head, is like, would you have approached me on a one-on-one and had this same conversation? So I guess you were maybe deciding where this guy was coming from, but maybe not. Just an opinion.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I've learnt a lot today. This is why I like stereo because you learn a lot. Um, you get to speak to different type of different types of people. Different types of opinion. I like it. Um, you said, Hayes, that you come across people that are polite and stuff on stereo. I don't. I come across people that are rude on here, mate. No, seriously, like that's why I personally don't listen to a lot of stereo people on this app. I really don't, because if you're not careful, you'll get the wrong advice. You'll get the wrong. You've got hurt people on here giving people advice, giving hurt people advice, and it's a mess. There's some stuff on here. Honestly, just be
Mm,
careful because some people don't talk the way we do with sense and just really thinking about certain things. So, but on the other side, though, there are nice people as well. Um, I mean, the people, the person who, I know you wasn't there, but um, I was talking with was it 3 or 4 people yesterday? 3 people yesterday. I know one of them because she's known me since I was a baby. And then one guy I met on stereo. He's from Malawi, I think he said. I hope I'm getting that right. But he's from Africa, and just respect each other. Do you know what I mean? Like if we disagree, say
mm,
we disagree politely, but don't be, um, you know, don't be. For example, I don't swear. I don't like swearing, but there's been swearing in this conversation, and I'm very open. I like people to express themselves, and you know what I mean, and really just talk. I like respect, and if people respect you, and if you respect me, I respect you. I like that, and we can talk. I like to have these intellectual. I can't even say the word. Intellectual
mm,
conversations. I done it. I like to have those type of conversations. Because it's meaningful. I mean, it's meaningful, man, and you can actually get something from it. That's why um I wish I could be on stereo more,
mhm,
but I can't because I know I talk about rubbish. I mean, I see people on it every day. So far, I've been on it twice this week. I can't be on stereo every day because I run out of stuff to say. I would like to have more topics to talk about. But I want to make sure if I talk about something that I actually have something. Like the conversation today was actually, I have a notepad on my phone with conversations that I'm kind of waiting to kind of talk about. I have loads. Actually, I need to tick that off because we talked about that already yesterday. Why leave and cleave? Like there's stuff that there's stuff here on my list. And now I've got another one, men should not sleep around and the effects on that. I might talk about that at some point. Um, um, boundaries in relationships. I kind of spoke about that yesterday, but that was in the mixture of things. But I want to make that a focal point as well. But yeah, I like to come to Story with a topic, not just to mess around, whatever. Because there's a lot of people that do that on here. And I'm like, what? So yeah, let's listen to what Nephew's saying.
Yeah, I agree, Nathan. I was off the app the other day, and by accident pressed the start a talk button, and a few conversations had happened with me not paying attention to it. Guy jumped up and is like, "Oh, you're the guy I wanted to speak to because you have a British flag and a Jamaican flag on your profile." And his title was, if you're from if you're from Africa or the Caribbean, and you're in another country, why did you leave? And it was done in a question mark, like as in well, obviously the Caribbean and Africa wasn't good enough. Now, had you had this conversation and started it from the base point, I would have told you, well, I'm born in Britain, so that's why I've got the British flag, and my ancestry is Caribbean, Jamaican, so I could have ended that for you and ended the conversation, but you thought to be an ass.
Yeah. A lot of people on here don't know how to start a conversation properly. It's so weird. Like sometimes it really frustrates me, right? I see a lot of people that don't know how to talk properly to people, but they've got a lot of followers on here. And the reason for it is because people like drama. People just like, I've been on this. I've been listening to these two guys for a while on stereo, and they just argue. Jesus is for black people. No, he's for white. He's for everybody. And for 2 hours, that's the same subject. Bear in mind, there's people that want to come in to actually try and learn something and try and get something, but they're just arguing. Talk about Jamaica though and stuff like that. My wife told me to take what is it called? There's a website called My Heritage, and I took a heritage test, and it came back like a month later. I was shocked, man. So I was born in the UK. My mum and dad were born in the UK. But my grandma on both sides are from Jamaica. When I took my test, my whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. But when I took that test, my heritage DNA, it says that I am 54.8% Nigerian, 21.5 Sierra Leone. Someone knows how to say that properly, not me. And I've got other stuff there. Let me go back. 14.3 Kenyan, 4.1 North African, 2.8 West Africa, 1.5 Finnish, and I've got 1.0 of Inuit. Inuit is spelled, from Asia. And it says where my bloodline, it's got a map of where my bloodline has come from, all of it. I've even got a bit of China in me a little bit, which is really weird. But when I look at it, it makes sense. And it gives me the opportunity to talk to. It's actually matched my DNA with 32 distant relatives in America, the UK. It's crazy. Canada. Yeah, that's why I don't fuss too much where people are from, because you've got a bit of almost everything, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't. It's very interesting to me because now I'm thinking I want to know a little bit more about Nigerians because I'm 54. I've got 54% Nigerian in me. It looks like the Nigerians at some point uh lived in, a lot of Nigerians were in Jamaica at one point. I'm not good at history or anything like that, but it looks like, yeah, they were in Jamaica at some point. So yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, just be
Definitely.
careful of the just be careful of the groups that you follow though, because or listen to, because it's
Oh, sure.
mate, it's boy. I was listening to one lady and she was saying that um men are trash, but my dad wasn't. Eh, it's crazy, man. She honestly, she was like in her 50s or 40s. She was like, men are trash. This, da, 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 da. And when you come with that statement, you really have to bring evidence to the table on that. So are there other men you're
Mhm.
talking to at the moment trash? You know, is so if your dad's not trash, how can you say all men are? You know,
Mm.
um,
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's like anyone who says, men are trash, or, all women are, gold diggers, or that or this, they are the ones who have been hurt before in the past. It's just,
I'm glad you
yeah.
yeah, you said that word about gold diggers, right?
Mm,
Women that have been hurt, they're gold diggers. Um, I no disrespect to anyone. Ray's nephew, right? If you're listening, right? Remember we had the talk yesterday. She had something to prove. She wanted to prove
mm,
to her partner that she can do without him and she's gonna get all the money. It's true, you know? Like and I tried to explain that men don't care about money in that sense. When a man looks at a woman, the first thing they see is not money. Are you
Yeah,
feminine? Are you pretty? You know, how do you carry yourself? Are you physically fit? Then they don't care at that point about your income, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you, I feel like I feel like women are trying to be like men, like, some women who, when you listen to, I mean, some women speak like men, just, I
That
mean, do
that
you actually
maybe
find that attractive? Like, if
no.
she's going down on you, if she's going down on you, do you want her to say, "Hey, bro, do you like this blowjob?"
No, me personally, I know a lot of men that would agree. No, I don't, I don't find women that are masculine attractive. But remember though, and it's not an excuse, but it happens that women are like that. And again, we go back to what we were talking about kids, because the father wasn't
Mm,
around, or let's say the mom didn't want to be around. The child adopts these characters or ways of acting. There are reasons why women are masculine at times. It may be because they've been through situations. It may just be because of how they've grown up. But no, I wouldn't find that attractive. No, nope, not me. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No way. Mm-mm. Especially even I even more find it confusing when the masculine women want to kind of settle down, because it's you can't have two alphas in the same house. Do you know what I mean? It can only be one one alpha. You know what I mean? One alpha male. Um, the women can't be shouting and you did this, you did that. Didn't I tell you to do this? No. Mm-mm. Hang on. Let's bring it down a bit. Let's talk to each other respectfully. If you've got a problem, let me know what the problem is. But let's talk respectfully. Like how us guys are talking now. If you was talking to your partner, it would have to be on this level. Yeah, not
Mhm.
no. I mean, we even getting to a stage now where women are slapping men around the face for something silly. I've seen videos of women slapping their man, not in the UK, but I've seen it in America. Women slap them around the face, and the men, I, I don't say hit girls back, but the men respectfully don't hit their wife back or their women back because they're being respectful. Like I said, I don't condone anyone hitting anyone, but you got a point, because now some of the women are getting very out of control. And again, this is why I say us men need to step up and our take everything back that the men should have been doing. Responsibility, teach women how to act and not how to act, how to dress on social media. These 20K followers things that we're talking about. It really does match into the whole conversation today, actually. It really does. Because it all matches to the point of these are some of the reasons why you're single.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the heritage site. I did one on I think it's 23andMe, and it was saying that I was like 43% Ghanaian, stroke Liberian, stroke Sierra Leone. Then it was like 39%
Oh wow.
Nigerian, 1.4% Senegambian. Then it was like 3.9% Congolese, 0.3% Sudanese, and 0.5% Scandinavian. 1.8 British Irish, 0.8%
British
French, and
Irish though.
0.1% Northern European, and 0.1% Balkan Greek. Interesting. Yeah, I will probably research it in the future, but yeah, it does make you know that there's a lot that goes into making up who you are, especially if you find yourself outside of the African continent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And not even that. Just you mentioned that, it makes you think that. So okay, so I forgot. Sorry. So okay, I always hear about patriotism, and how important it is to love your country and even your race, and but if you think about it, patriotism, is basically, people talk about patriotism because it's easier to get people to send them to wars, because
You know what?
you don't
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, because it just, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be proud, you shouldn't be, not patriotism, proud. I was gonna say proud. You know,
Understand.
you shouldn't be
Yeah.
proud of. You shouldn't be proud of. You know, being. You shouldn't be proud of like your uh, ethnicity or your religion or your wealth because or your color of the skin because you're born with it. It's not a skill. It's something you're born with. If if you work hard to like achieve a goal to become like a world champion, you can be proud of yourself. But if you're proud because you're born in a in a country, you could have been born in another country. It's not something you choose. It's not something you work hard to achieve that. It's something that 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 was basically an accident. Like even though your parents' intention was not that, you are accidentally born in this country. You could have been born in another country. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just
I'm
yeah.
born in the UK. I'm born in the UK. I've never been the person to say I support my country. You know, this is leading on to something else, but it's interesting. It's good. Um, I've kind of just lived my life. I mean, uh, uh, I've never been big on supporting my country. I kind of just live in it and just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Um, like
Yeah.
in the UK, I'm gonna have to end this recording here. I'm saying that because I'm gonna upload it later, so I need to timestamp this. But um, the the reason why I'm very no country's perfect. Um, in the UK last year when everyone was clapping for the NHS and all that stuff, for all this COVID stuff, I was very like I didn't get involved in it. Um,
Hmm.
and I kind of just waited to see what was happening regarding this COVID stuff. I find that a lot of stuff, they're making up numbers and all this stuff, and it's just a lot of fake news out there. Um, I love people, and I think that's all I need really is just to love people and respect people. But I've never been one to kind of like, this is my country and I'm gonna do everything. And I get what you're saying, but I've never been that type of person.
Mhm.
Um, I kind of just respect everybody. Um, See what nephew's saying. I keep saying that, don't I? Like I keep saying it the way I say it. It's kind of funny. Let's see what nephews say.
Yeah, that's a big conversation point there.
Mm.
Proud. Look, based on the histories and my growing up and rearing, I will say that I do have an affinity with my color and my culture. Doesn't mean I disregard anybody else's color or their culture, but everybody who is within my family and my history belong, well, most people belong to that color and that culture. As far as, like, for example, Jamaica, my parents are from there. I've lived there myself, and the culture I found is beautiful, and I embrace it. There's certain connectivity that I've had through life that has steered me well, being a part of that culture.
I understand that. You get that, Hez?
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how people. I mean, just even the word proud. Just you should be proud of something you work hard for it. You shouldn't be proud of where you're born, your skin color, your because it's not something you choose. It's not something you work hard for. You're just born with it. Just and
Yeah,
and the reason it's problematic. The reason it's problematic is because politicians. use the word proud to send people to war. And on top of that, just um, this, it might, the word proud might create nationalism. It's just the white nationalist that says white people are superior. I'm proud of my, culture. I'm proud of it. That's, I feel like the word proud is problematic. That's just, I mean, if you work hard for it to, to become a world champion, yeah, be proud of it. But if you're born with something, I don't know, man. I don't know why people would say they're proud of it. It doesn't make any sense. It it just doesn't.
Mm. So I believe there's many. There's when you look at the word proud, it means a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction as a result of one's achievements, qualities, or those of someone of whom one is closely associated with. A proud grandma of 3 boys. I think it depends how you use the word proud, because I can be proud that you've graduated. I'm proud that
Mhm.
you're in uni. That sounds better, doesn't it? And I get what you're saying when people say, be
Mhm.
proud for your country. You know, I understand what you're saying. I think it just depends where you put that word proud. Um,
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
mean that's what I'm saying that, I mean, if you're proud that your son is
another
graduated.
another
Yeah.
another word of proud could be, you could say,
Mm,
I'm pleased. Be pleased for your country. I mean, I mean, it doesn't matter what word you use.
mm,
It's the context of what it's used in, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily focus on the word proud, but I get what you mean, because a lot of people use the word proud, but it's just the context of what that word is being used in.
Hmm.
Um, let's see what
And
I'm
on
about to
top of
say.
that, oh,
Go
let's
on.
no, no. On top of that, uh, it's like, you know, um, the word proud and patriotism are used together, and it's problematic because, if let's just say, own a cigarette factory, and my product kills a lot of people get cancer from it, and can I call myself a patriot? Can I say I'm proud of my country, I'm proud of myself, I'm proud of my, you know uh
Yeah,
I can't say that, you know what I'm saying? it's just
yeah.
I feel like that's a term that
That's
politicians.
that's that's
Yeah.
why I don't get involved. I don't get involved in politics. I
Mm,
don't, if I'm honest with you, I don't even vote, because I'm not really involved in stuff like that. You
mm.
know, I'm really not. Um, I love saying the way I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again. Let's see what nephews say. I love it.
I love
Right, here's a
it.
question for you. When you leave this plane, would you
Mm,
not be happy to know that you've done enough in the world to make your offspring and the people around you proud to have known you and to recognize that and appreciate you? Now, that is where the historical pride, it doesn't mean that it
mm,
completely dominates who you are and what you will be, but there's nothing wrong with being proud of the people that paved the way before you. And that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I
Saying
was the
say,
airplane.
say saying that you're proud of
Mm,
something, or you're proud of what you've achieved, doesn't mean that you're prideful, or being or you're being boastful in yourself, in the sense of you've got pride.
mm.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes we get them both confused. But do you have anything else to say? Because it's in the UK. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've got to go to a dinner tomorrow, and then I've got to go somewhere else with the wife. But is there anything else you wanted to say? And nephew, oh, it's funny. What does nephew have to say? I love it. I think I said it. I think I said it that way yesterday as well. Oh, jeez. Nephew as well. If I want to do, so I talk with you at one point as well, man. But I think you're working around these times actually, by the sounds of it. But yeah, did you, Hez, have anything to say? Are you cool?
Let me I'm proud. No, I think I pretty much said the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take too much of your time.
No, it's alright, man. It takes time. I mean, we spent what? How long have we been on here for now? Almost 3 hours. That's
4
fine. I
hours.
did this 3 actually. I did the same thing yesterday.
Oh.
The talk that we had yesterday, I uploaded it, the whole thing, because it was a good conversation and I couldn't afford to cut it. I couldn't, because what we were talking about was really good. And then, funny enough, my sister messaged me and said, actually, Mimi messaged me first and said, Nathan, you uploaded the whole thing, but I don't think we're going to listen to it. And then I said, I know, but just in case, it's there on YouTube anyway, just in case, right? And then my sister messaged me and said, Nathan, this is really good. She said she's watched an hour of it so far.
Damn.
And then, oh yeah, an hour of it. And then she then messaged me saying, what have you got plans to talk about next? And I said, I don't know. And then when I spoke to you, I just went in my notes again and I found another topic. So hence why we're talking about this. So yeah, I think it will help somebody. I shouldn't focus so much on the hours. Oh my days, and my boys, Wesley is in. Wesley, I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna have to go and shoot. Wesley's in. Wesley does videos with me and Mimi as well. But yeah, man, I love these talks, man. It's so cool.
But
Let's see
let's just say what nephew has to say.
let's see what nephew has to say. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
we can definitely do a show. What it is, I do video editing, photo editing, all kinds of different stuff at all different types of hours of the day. So I'm completely consumed with work. But it doesn't matter about my workload. I think I'm going to be caught up by the end of the day. Between today and tomorrow, I'll be caught up. So, and I'm trying to lighten the load a little bit. So after that, yeah, I'll be fine to do shows. I wanted to do shows for a while now, but I was finding my pack as far as, yeah, what shows I want to do. And yeah, I'm definitely cool with doing shows with you guys because you guys are completely relaxed. You're not going from emotion. You're actually literally having a conversation rather than having a shouting match. You're not trying to teach knowledge that you've half learned or anything like that, what a lot of people on the app are doing. So yeah, I'm completely cool with you guys.
Cool. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely get in touch with you for sure. Wesley, see what he's saying.
Yeah, good to be here, guys. But I think I'll spectate for this one because my phone's low battery again. But yeah, I'll listen for as long as I can, and I'll comment when necessary. But yeah, let me be the spectator today. Yeah,
Wesley.
Hey Hayes, hey Nathan, you go ahead and do your thing.
I've been doing it, bro, for almost 3 hours. Came in late. But that's fine. Yeah, I'll upload it on YouTube, and then I think you can play it back as well if you have the time, man. But yeah.
But it's crazy that we talk for like 3 hours, and I didn't even realize that time passed. 3 hours, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So at the moment it says talk time 2 hours and 56 and 27 seconds. So yeah, almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Should we keep talking till we get into 3 hours?
Listen,
just kidding.
because of
Okay.
because of yesterday's conversation, I had to leave my laptop on all night for like certain stuff to download, and everything like that. Stereo is very handy because when you download stuff, you just there's an option for you to download your audio, and then you send it to your email, and then you can either download it into an MP4 or MP3 format, upload it on your desktop. I've got my thumbnail ready and everything like that. I love thumbnails. I'm good at making thumbnails and stuff. I had that sorted, and I just put them together. It's very easy. Just put the soundtrack in with what pitch you want over the audio, and it's done. Easy, you know. So yeah.
Definitely.
But thanks, man. I appreciate you feeling confident to talk. It's first time talking to you. Follow me on Instagram and stuff so we can stay in touch and stuff like that. Because it'd be good to have a talk with you guys again.
Oh, sure. It was a pleasure talking to you too. I just followed you on Instagram, and it's a cat page, not catfish. The cat page, right?
Hang on a second. Hang on. You followed me, did you? Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow you on my personal one because I'm not on my couple's account as much. So I'll do that. So at least you can message me and stuff like that. And because I don't want to reply to anyone late or anything like that. So hang on a second. Yeah, at first I thought you said catfish. I was like, huh? It's a catfish account.
Cat page.
Yeah. So yeah, I said I've DM'd you as well, and I followed you, so you know it's me.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys, for dropping in. Sorry, Wesley, you came in at the last minute, and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll hopefully we'll talk again at some point.
Oh, definitely, we're gonna have a conversation. I really, it was a pleasure talking to you, man.
No, you too, man.
Likewise.
Honestly, thanks for the discussion because I like these talks because it gets my mind thinking, and I like to think practical and try and understand everything from both sides of the coin. And it's just interesting. It's good to have these talks. So yeah, and again, I keep talking. I talk too much. There we go. That's fine. You did this on purpose, didn't you? It's 3 o'clock, man. I mean, not 3 o'clock. It's 3 hours. You know what I mean? Oh, jeez, did it on purpose. All right, man. You got your 3 hours, man. Damn. All right. 3 hours it is again. All right, bro. Speak to you in a bit, yeah?
All right, man.
All
Have
right,
a good
bye.
have a
See you guys. Yeah, you too. Bye.